Afternoon and warm welcome to all participants and our guest speaker. I would like to inform Indian Energy Skill Development is in the business of training and consultancy since 2011. We are presently training professionals in future energy and other technology courses like hydrogen, EV, sustainability, energy transitions, and others. We have trained more than 2,500 professionals and more than 600 professionals have been certified in our online programs. Energy conservation building codes are existing since 2007. However, the Government of India through Bureau of Energy Efficiency is implementing the enhanced code of sustainable buildings and construction for all new buildings with a connected load of 100 kilowatt or contract demand of 120 kVA and above. That's why today's our topic is on energy efficient buildings need of the hour. We are launching a new program on the subject also today. And we have our speaker today, Mr. Sandeep Verma. Mr. Sandeep Verma is an energy and sustainability expert over 25 years of experience. He is BE Electrical from Roorkee University, now considered as IIT Roorkee. He is an accredited energy auditor and All India topper of energy audit exams. He is lead auditor for energy management systems, ISO 5001, greenhouse gases, ISO 14064. And he is an ECBC and ECSBC master trainer and successfully conducted more than 250 training programs on energy efficiency, energy auditing, and energy management, and over 50 energy audits in diverse sections. I would like to invite Mr. Verma to start the session. And I would just inform all the audience that all the mics are disabled and you can post your questions in the chat box, which will be taken at the end of the session. Over to Mr. Verma.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. So let us start the presentation. So I hope it is visible and just for the sake of confirmation, am I audible properly?
Yes, sir. And your screen is also visible.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, once again. So today we'll be briefly talking about Energy Conservation and Sustainable Building Code 2024. And this topic is primarily focused on new buildings, which is coming for office spaces and for commercial usage. So first we have to understand what exactly is different in this code vis-a-vis the earlier version of Energy Conservation Building Code, be it 2007 or 2017. So we used to categorize buildings in two segments. One segment was energy efficient building, another segment was green buildings. So at one side, we were talking about energy efficiency when it was coming down to energy efficient buildings. And on the other hand, we were talking about sustainable development through proper utilization of natural resources and local ecological systems. So that was called as green buildings. We had statutory guidelines for energy efficient building in the form of ECBC, but we were not having as such statutory guideline for green building, though rating system like LEED or GREHA, they were present as a voluntary mechanism. The intent was, be it energy efficient building is concerned or green building is concerned, the intent was through better designing, construction and operation, we could optimize the resources which is being utilized by the occupant. So going forward, why do we need now? So that is the very pertinent question, why we are focusing on sustainability as well under statutory requirement beyond energy, because it is observed that 40% of global greenhouse gas emission is attributable to building sector. So it is a very large chunk. And then again, there is a huge shift as far as population is concerned. Population, more and more population is moving towards urban areas from rural areas, and it is expected that by 2050, roughly 68% of the world population will be living in urban areas only. So it will put pressures. Obviously, all these people will be working and they will be using commercial spaces, and obviously they will be having residential need also. And then we have made a commitment at a global forum, mainly Paris Agreement. Everybody has heard about it. So we have made a net zero commitment by 2070. So in order to meet that net zero commitment, and in order to ensure sustainable development, we have to adopt these kind of practices in a very thorough manner so that we can mitigate our carbon footprints. So these are the basically globally environmental impacts of buildings. Buildings basically consume roughly 20% of your water consumption. They consume roughly 40% of energy use. Again, 40% of roughly greenhouse gas emission, and around 30 to 40% of solid waste generation. So that you can see that the waste generation is another big factor which has to be considered when we are going forward with this code. These are different initiatives which has been taken by Indian government. The genesis is lying with the Energy Conservation Act, which was constituted in 2001. And under that Energy Conservation Act, or we also call it as EC Act 2001, different legislation have been formed, different guidelines have been framed to ensure proper efficiency of along with the occupant comfort. These codes are namely Energy Conservation Building Code, then Energy Conservation and Sustainable Building Code. And then we have Eco-Niwas Sanhita also, that is primarily meant for residential buildings. It was introduced in 2018, and subsequently some chapters were added in 2021. And now it has been further enhanced for higher level of compliances, and ENS 2024 is also available. Though it is not statutory as of now, but in near future it will be again statutory for different residential projects, especially large scale projects like PM Awas Yojana, or in a even in tier 2 and tier 3 cities also a lot of residential complexes and row houses are coming. So in order to regularize those houses for in terms of sustainability and energy consumption, ENS will be instrumental. So maybe in subsequent webinars we'll try to cover ENS also. And initially, all these three initiatives are meant for a new construction. ECBC, ECSBC, and ENS, they are meant for basically new construction. But as far as existing buildings are concerned, we have a star rating program which is being propelled by Bureau of Energy Efficiency, that is BEE. A star rating program can be used for existing new buildings also, but as of now, as far as existing buildings are concerned, this is the main, I think, I would say a certification program for and motivation towards going for a higher energy efficiency. Then I already talked about LEED and GREHA. They are basically voluntary green building certification, which are in vogue for quite some time, and they are, trust me, they are quite popular also. Then smart cities missions are also going on, and this ECSBC is going to be a very integral part of our vision for smart cities. With ECSBC, we cannot really imagine making a smart city mission as a success. So it is very critical for this initiative. Then apart from that, we have Ujala scheme, we have Perform, Achieve and Trade scheme. This is basically applicable for hotel, primarily not all kind of commercial building. It is focused on hotel. Then we have a national mission on sustainable habitat. And there's one more thing which has come up very recently, and though it is not as such applicable for any kind of buildings, but they are thinking of bringing all those commercial building under the purview of that new scheme that is called CCTS, Carbon Credit Trading Scheme. It is similar to PAT scheme, but the only difference is that in PAT scheme or Perform, Achieve and Trade scheme, we are talking about only energy efficiency. Rather, in CCTS, we are talking about overall greenhouse gas footprint. So this is the basic difference between PAT and CCTS. As far as this code is concerned, ECSBC 2024 is concerned, we have a three level of compliance. One is a standard level of compliance, or we can call it as a statutory level of compliance, that is ECSBC. And then we have ECSBC plus, which is enhanced version of compliance. And then we have super ECSBC, which is the highest level of compliance based on available technologies. So either you can go for a basic compliance, and alternatively you can go for a higher level of compliance. If you're going for a higher level of compliance, there are a lot of benefits which we'll demonstrate to you in the subsequent slides. So what is the aim? We have briefly we have talked about. Let us summarize that need of this ECSBC. This is basically aimed to reduce reducing our ecological impacts. We have to preserve our biodiversity, and then we have to support low carbon development. For that purpose, we need to integrate site planning in the building design. Then building design per se, it has to be done in such a manner that they are providing relevant comfort to the occupants. Then proper resource management like water, and then waste generation and all that. And mostly the most important thing is occupant comfort. Whatever we are doing for in a particular building, it cannot be at the cost of occupant comfort. There has to be a optimal occupant comfort, not limited to thermal comfort. It can be other types of comforts also, which is required by the occupant. That has to be ensured. So basically, this code has been bifurcated in primarily 8 modules. Earlier in ECBC, we had 4 modules, and now we have added 4 additional module of sustainability. So first of such module is sustainable sites and planning. So when we are talking about sustainable sites and planning, then this is basically focused on, first thing is your topsoil preservation, which is fertile soil, and haphazard construction is causing damage to this fertile soil, and we are not able to reutilize it when we want to develop greenery. So it has been specified in that we'll get to know in the detailed module, but topsoil has to be present uh, to the depth of 1500 to 2000 mm, that is 15 to 20 centimeter from the top. That is a main fertile soil that has to be preserved, and that can be used on site, preferably on site, for developing greenery. And in case of exigencies, we may think of using it for offsite greenery development, green belt development also. Then site selection. Here we are saying that we cannot develop any project which is in contrast with the local geographical conditions. So if the project is being implemented in any kind of eco-sensitive zone or heritage areas, flood prone areas, or any other kind of protected regions. So that site must follow. Preferably, it should be avoided, and if it is there is no option and it has to be done, then the necessary statutory guidelines has to be followed, and the impact to these conditions, these areas will be should be minimal to the extent feasible. And going beyond, it is not only sustainable sites and planning is not only limited to topsoil preservation and building sites only. It also talks about its accessibility, and accessibility for whom? Accessibility for differently able person, maybe kids and senior citizen. So, buildings should not be designed in a manner that it is only comfortably accessible to a general public, but it should also take care of access, and not only access. Toilet requirements are concerned, parking requirements are concerned. All these things has to be considered while developing a building, and appropriate signages must be provided, appropriate allocation has to be done, so that any differently abled person and maybe senior citizen and all, they can easily access all these facilities. And then most importantly, we are also talking about transport access. uh, what happens, we at a lot of places we are missing last mile connectivity, and that leads to accommodation by car or maybe accommodation by bike. So in absence, so though we have a good public transportation system, but we are missing on last mile connectivity. So that last mile connectivity is being integrated to these building design. Within a radius of 800 meter, there has to be a public transport available, and in case it is not available, then in-house transport arrangement has to be done to the nearest public transportation system. So all these guidelines have been specified, and that's why when I was saying smart cities mission, so it is the part of smart cities mission also, that we have proper last mile connectivity. So they are basically in a cohesion with each other. Then this part was this module was already there in ECBC, that is building envelope requirement, but we have slightly enhanced it in this 2024 version when we came up with ECSBC, and obviously it talks about opaque construction. We are talking about different ISOs which has to be followed in verifying the parameters, and the different testing method which has to be followed. Then apart from that, opaque construction, that is opaque construction means basically we are talking about exterior walls, and we are talking about roof and all. And we'll not be talking about interior floors or ground floor and all, and we'll also not be talking about the internal walls. So it is only limited to external walls and external roof. Then similarly for fenestration also, we have certain parameters, and the guidelines have been specified, different ISO have been specified, how do we check it and all, so that whatever is being claimed, it is the same specification is present during application. Then we have two more aspects, that is a building envelope ceiling, so that there is no unwanted heat gain because of air movement. And then most importantly, we are talking about daylighting. So basically this parameter is known as UDI. We'll talk about in detail what exactly is UDI. So UDI must be available in certain part of that entire building area based on the level of compliance. And we can verify this availability through either computer software or computer simulation method, and we also have a manual simulation method which can be adopted. Then moving on further, similar to what I was talking about, building envelope, here also the module remains the same. The chapter name remains the same, but we have enhanced it further. So the requirements are like ventilation requirements, commissioning and balancing of your comfort system, providing proper insulation to ducts and plenum and pipelines and all, and then placement of equipment, primarily condensers and all, and usage of economizer. So, and apart from that, we as far as efficiency level are concerned for chillers or air conditioning equipment, we have introduced certain additional parameters so that we can have a better understanding, we can ensure a better performance while building is in operation. By simply measuring coefficient of performance or COP or energy efficiency ratios, which are meant for 100% loading. It is observed that it is not they are not representing the correct picture. So all these things have been, I would say, improved in the previous from the previous version, and this is much more comprehensive now. And obviously, the controls, a different kind of control system as per developing technology have been specified in this chapter for regulating the comfort system. Then again, lighting and controls are concerned. Here, beyond lighting power density, that is nothing but how much light you can utilize for per square meter of building carpet area. So we are also talking about lighting quality, that is color temperature, color rendering index, that is a capability to recreate the natural color in the artificial lighting. And so similar to that earlier versions, we have a different compliance method and different LPDs have been assigned, and we have specified IS codes also to ensure that we have a proper quality and quantity available in the working environment. And all these things has to be properly controlled depending upon the type of a space and depending upon the level of occupancy. So this has been specified. Electrical and renewables, it is talking about efficiency level of transformers, efficiency level of UPS, your power metering, power distribution, what kind of losses we can have, voltage regulation, it talks about, and it talks about harmonic distortion also, whether be it voltage harmonic distortion is concerned or current harmonic distortion is concerned. And lastly, and obviously, renewable energy requirements are also integrated in this chapter. Again, after site planning, we talked about the modules which were already present in ECBC, though they have been enhanced, but still they were present. And the person who have covered ECBC, they might have a fair enough idea about these previous 4 modules. But as far as sustainability part is concerned, after site planning and site selection, we have a water management and control. So this is again a new module which is coming to picture, and in this module, what we are talking about water quality, what kind of water quality is being utilized, primarily based on TDS level and all, and So the water source has to be properly documented, and it has to be a reliable source. And then we know that a lot of efficient fixtures are available, sensor-based fixtures are available, regulated flow, or we have air-water mixtures also there. You can see in recently I was traveling in a flight. So I observed they have changed the ratio of air to water in a particular tap. So air is also getting mixed with water so that we can achieve the desired effect with the least amount of water while you are cleaning after you're washing your hand and all. Similarly, for flush also, they are being made more and more efficient. We have a small flush, we have a full flush, depending upon the usage. And we are talking about rainwater harvesting. It was there in NBC, and now we are bringing under the fold of ECSBC also. And beyond electrical metering, we are also talking about water metering so that we can focus upon what kind of water usage is taking place in a different segment, and accordingly we can take necessary action. And it also talks about basically reducing usage of potable water, that is drinkable water, which we are using for bathing purpose or drinking purpose or cooking food and all. But it also talks about processing of black water and gray water, and so that that water has to be water has to be recycled and we used for maybe cleaning purpose, floor cleaning purpose, or maybe car washing, or maybe developing gardens are concerned, or water gardening, gardening water is concerned. So all these things can be catered through a treated water, and rainwater can be treated for potable purpose. So that we know that that rainwater harvesting, they are very prominent. I've seen in Gujarat personally. So they store rainwater and then they utilize it for drinking purpose after proper processing. So rainwater can be treated for potable water, and apart from that, you cannot fulfill the 100% requirement. Obviously, you require some other source, which we have already talked about earlier, and we need to have reclaimed water also, and from through STPs, that is through reprocessing of gray and black water. Then again, this is one more module, third module of sustainability, that is waste management. And waste management, we are not only limited to operational waste, we are also talking about construction waste. So we are saying that both in a construction phase and post construction phase, waste has to be properly managed. They must be properly segregated in hazardous and non-hazardous waste, and there has to be a designated storage area. And depending upon the type of waste and type of processing which is available on site or off site, depending upon the size of the building, we can go for recycling of these waste. So if it is a organic waste, we can recycle at site, or we can hand it over to a municipality. Hazardous waste, inevitably, it has to be handed over to the municipality or designated collection agency. And construction based waste, in case it has to be completely cleared. So it has to be segregated and completely cleared before occupancy start. We also, it is not exactly a module, it is a appendix which has been given. It is one of the requirement that we identify what kind of embodied carbon is present in the material which is being used for as a structural element. So this is basically based on the cradle to gate concept. Basically, once, let's say, for example, briefly, I'll touch upon it. Let's say it is cement. So we are extracting cement. We are extracting a raw material for cement, and then we are transporting that raw material for cement to the cement factories, and then we are reprocessing that raw material in the finished product, that is the cement, which is being utilized in the construction purpose. So cradle, which is there in the mining, from the mining, and the gate, it means basically where when it is coming out of factories of cement manufacturer. So this is called cradle to gate concept. So different stages, these are called different stages, A1 to A3. A1 is your mining stage, and then A2 is transportation, and A3 is finishing of that raw material. So all these stages, the carbon reporting takes place, and based on that carbon reporting, embodied carbon can be identified. So all these guidelines have been specified in this code. So this is basically fourth module. Sustainable material, they are only, I touch upon that that is a requirement under the code, but it is not a full-fledged module per se. It is only a table, and based on that table and the data which is available from cement manufacturer, or maybe steel manufacturer, or maybe brick manufacturer and all, we need to have that data. We need to collate that data, and we can have that data in various ways. Either we can calculate it, or we can estimate it, or we can get it from supplier and all. So based on that, we can declare about embodied carbon of the product, which is material which is being used for construction purpose. And then last chapter of module is sustainability aspect of this code is talks about indoor environmental quality, that is IEQ. It is talks about indoor air quality, what kind of particulate matter has to be can be present, what is the how do we control CO2 levels, and then it is, though it is briefly covered in the ventilation part, but here we have given a certain additional requirement. It also talks about VOC control, volatile organic compound. And then I was saying it is not only limited to air quality or lighting or thermal comfort. It also talks about acoustic guidelines also. So what kind of sound insulation values should be there, so that occupant can operate comfortably, they can focus on their work without getting any kind of untoward noises from the outside areas. So acoustic guidelines have also been specified. And then as far as thermal comfort is concerned, though we talks about um, comfort system, we are not exactly talking about the parameter in that earlier modules, and here we are talking about that parameter. So here we are saying that your temperature in summer should not vary between say 23 plus minus 3 degrees Celsius, and for winter it is 19 plus minus 4 degrees Celsius. So the range comes out to be for winter it is 15 to 23, and for summer it is 20 to 26. Though I think they have still they are a bit liberal. It can be maybe going forward can be made further more stringent. So but probably they have thought about higher occupancy at a certain point of time, so that this level of thermal comfort have been specified along with RH also. Then again, similar to sustainable material controls and IoT integration, they are not any separate modules. It basically says that ECSBC, that standard ECSBC, should have equipment and system level control. And for higher level of compliance, we can have advanced integration protocols, or we can have network controller with centralized monitoring, like building management system and all. And now we have IoT technology, so the controlling of different parameters becomes much more easier vis-a-vis the earlier days. So these are the compliance threshold. Basically, we are talking about EPI ratio. EPI is nothing but energy performance index. That is annual energy consumption in number of units kWs divided by per square meter of area, or I would say air conditioned area. And these API ratios of your baseline building, which is as per ECSBC, and proposed building, uh, it is one, they are ECSBC compliant. And we are moving towards ECSBC plus and super ECSBC. You can see that that ratio gets reduced. That proposed building EPI divided by the baseline building, that is the statutory norm, they become more and more energy efficient. And you can see that for ECSBC plus, you can see it goes down till 0.77 for school and university, and 0.66 for super ECSBC. So that is transpired into a saving of say 23% for ECSBC plus, and 34% for super ECSBC. And this is the benchmarkings, obviously ECSBC compliant building. When we compare with the building as usual, suppose we are not following that ECSBC protocol, and we are constructing just like that. So by making the building ECSBC compliant itself, we are getting a saving, performance improvement of 20 to 30%. And then these are additional 20-30% which we are getting through higher level of compliances. So what are the different benefits along with the incremental cost which we are incurring? And trust me, we are only incurring incremental cost of 2 to 3%. And why is that so? Though we are investing in making a cool roof, we are investing in insulation, we are going for higher efficiency equipment and all. But somewhere we are saving, as far as you can reduce your cooling system size by 25 to 35%. So that in itself is a huge saving. You can reduce the size of your transformer. That is again a very huge saving. You can reduce your wire sizing. So all these things, because that overall energy consumption goes down, your overall energy requirement goes down by enhancing by enhancement of certain, by adding certain interventions. So your net outflow, extra outflow, is not more than 2 to 3% of your initial capital cost. And further, when the building is in operation, your water consumption goes down by 30 to 40%. Your greenhouse gas emission goes down by 30 to 40%. Your operational waste generation goes down by almost 50%. And your energy consumption again goes down between somewhere between 25 to 50%, depending upon the level of compliance. Your operating cost goes down by 8 to 9%. And even if we do not consider typical other non-tangible benefit like waste generation or water consumption and all, still your payback period is coming out as 2 to 3 years, not more than that. So why then, when it is a win-win scenario, then why we are not following it? So these are different barriers and challenges which we are facing, and we have to overcome that so that we can wholeheartedly implement these initiatives. So first is obviously a high upfront cost perception. Though it is only 2 to 3%, people are thinking it is like 20 to 30% additional cost which will take place, and that becomes very significant if it is, we are talking about 20 to 30% increase in capex. Then a lack of awareness or lack of trained professionals, which we can, who can convince the developer that if we are going through going for ECSBC, it is basically beneficial scenario. Then, as far as enforcement is concerned, there are some amount of enforcement issue. These are since the policies are relatively new and we have not enough trained professionals, so compliance become an issue. And without proper trained professional, we cannot fully enforce that policy. We start If we start unilaterally enforcing the policy, it becomes an issue. So in order to avoid that issue, we need to have a more and more trained professionals. And then again, that new building is okay, but for existing building, there are certain technical challenges which we are not able to overcome. And maybe once we are able to overcome, we can ensure compliance in the existing building also. So why we are launching this program? Obviously, we require more trained professional, and this is basically latest version, and it basically talks about additional elements of sustainability. So, in order to make you well versed with these additional additional chapters, which remain mostly alien to normal professional, which is there. Either one person is only knowing the half of the area, and other person knows the another half of the area, and there is a lack of integration which is missing. So person must be competent not only in the field of energy efficiency, but at the same time, it should be a competent enough in the field of sustainability also. So it is envisaged that in next 10 years, around 40% new commercial spaces are to be added. So we will be having a huge requirement. Again, I was reading an article few days back. It says that in another 25 years, we'll be generating roughly 30 million job for green professionals. And obviously, ECSBC expert will be one of them. And apart from these aspects, we have Bureau of Energy Efficiency is going to launch a program on for a certification program for certified energy auditor building. So it has been under deliberation, and they have released the public notification also, and very soon, maybe by next year, we'll be having this certification program similar to normal certified energy auditor or certified energy manager. We'll be having a building experts also, and with the building experts, you need to have for a building expert, you need to have these knowledge. And if you're having these knowledge, you will get first mover advantage. I remember getting trained in ECBC and becoming master trainer way back, almost uh, somewhere in 2014 or 15, when nobody was talking about it. And now, 10 years down the line, you see that there's a lot of requirement for people like us. So you can also become expert in this field and get benefited out of it. So with this, thank you very much. And now over to Manju ma'am for any query which may be there regarding my session or regarding the program.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And there are a lot of questions. So before we take the questions, I would just like to inform everybody that we are launching the program today, and one can register for the program. And we have a offer for today for this program. Basically, I will just like to inform everybody. Okay, this is our building codes program. Is an totally online program. And it can be accessed from anywhere, from any time zone, and the program is for 60 days. And we are providing a dedicated support and mentor throughout the program as our earlier programs. Means for earlier our online programs also, there is a mentor support provided if you have any questions on any subject. And of course, after completion of the program, we are providing a certificate to all the participants who clear the exam. Of course, there is a criteria for passing the exams. which you can get it from our brochure. And as I informed, the course is starting from 1st of August, but one can register from today, and we are kept a launch fee of 7,200, which is 20% discount on our means program fee, that is 8,999. And this offer is valid till 31st July. So all those who want to register can go to the website and register for the program. However, LMS will be open to all the registrants from 1st of August. So you can very well visit. And I would just like to take the questions which has come from all the audience. So I will come with the first question, sir.
Okay.
That is rainwater harvesting. Can strategies targeted at city planning levels such as ground level water increase? Somebody has mentioned Bhungru, etc., instead of direct use of comply of big projects.
So, rainwater harvesting is concerned, it is anyway mandatory. If you are going for a bigger project, rainwater harvesting is mandatory. Only the issue is, it seems that compliance part is concerned. If a lot of municipal corporation, they are providing incentives also in house tax and associated in water tax also, if you are going for rainwater harvesting implementation. So we are only reinforcing that concept at a project level. There's nothing new about it. So it was there. We are bringing under the fold of ECSBC. So I hope it is answered. If any other query, if any other,
Yeah, we can
hmm,
go to the second question, sir.
okay.
What are the incentives after certification of each type of certification?
Okay. So there is no as such declared in the code as far as incentive is concerned. But at the ULB level, what is happening? They are, in order to promote that, an initial fast track. We have, in order to provide a post in the beginning itself, they are providing a higher FAR and all. So, but that is limited to ULBs and the state. It cannot be governed by the center. So that incentive is there. You anyway, you're building ECSBC is mandatory. You have to follow that, and your building will be it can be certified easily for 5-star rating, and all that can be utilized in for your for propagating that you are commercially, basically you are sustainability conscious about it. So these benefits are there, but it is no unilateral policy or uniform policy across the states and across the ULBs. So till that time, but anyway, you have whatever, wherever I've seen, most of the places they are providing incentives if you are going for a compliance, despite being a statutory requirement.
Coming to the next question, sir. Will it be considered as equivalent to green building, rating LEED, GRIHA, ASHOCHAM, GEM, IGBC, etc. in the FAR incentive in states for projects greater than 100 kilowatt category?
They are actually beyond lead gray, or they are amalgamation of all these codes. So maybe a smaller things might be missing in order to have a maybe for a simplicity purpose. But trust me, they have incorporated all the main elements of these voluntary rating systems. So whatever the benefits you are getting there, your building can, if there is in a state policy, it has been categorically mentioned, like it has to be IGBC rated or it has to be a GREHA rated and all that, then probably you can get it certified from them. But otherwise, you can always approach that to the state bodies that it is ECSBC compliant or super ECSBC compliant, and which is equivalent to that, and they can amend if they may be in the process of amending that. I don't think it will be like in a, if they are providing incentive to GRIHA but not providing incentive to super ECSBC. So it may be there could be a slight delay. Matlab, unless they amend that, and this is the problem which we are facing, that central government basically they, creates this code, and then it goes to state, they adopt it. Certain states have become smarter in adopting these policies, they said that building code as revised on time to time basis. So they have to incorporate only once, and then after that it is by default wherever it is upgraded, the same can be incorporated. But in some other state they miss that point, and they have to do this exercise again and again. So recently in UP, I could see that they are providing that FAR benefit incentives for energy efficient buildings.
Coming to the next question, sir, the coexistence of ECSBC, ECBC, IGBC, and GRIHA, will that create regulatory confusion? Is India ready for a unified tiered green building framework like Singapore or UAE?
We have come up with ECSBC right now, or ECBC. Yes, ECSBC is the upgraded version of ECBC. So like in UP, we have ECBC, not ECSBC notified. So it may take another maybe another couple of years or so to when by the time we notify ECSBC. But there will be only one statutory requirement, be it ECBC or ECSBC. IGBC and GREHA, they were there for quite some time before ECBC, and they were green voluntary compliance mechanism. They do not have any kind of regulatory mechanism. So I don't think there is any issue as far as having multiple code is concerned. But going forward, it seems that they will merge together and move forward as a one single code. But as of now, we have to bring in some kind of a statutory compliance, and that is coming in the form of ECBC or ECSBC.
Coming to next question, somebody has asked for means sharing the presentation. I would like to inform means the participants that this recorded session of the webinar will be at our website, that is iesd.in. You can go to the web event and very well means listen to the presentation and listen to the webinar again. Coming to the next question, which certification will be taken to practice these codes and how to prepare for that? Please advise.
As of now, there is no program which has been floated by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Notified, I would say, finally notified. They are in the process of notification that I was talking about, Certified Energy Auditor building. Which they will be implementing very soon, maybe by the end of this calendar year or maybe in the next calendar year. But in anyway, it is coming. It is around the corner. And till that time, we have this IESD program and all that. And if you are having that clearing these exams and you have a certificate, that in itself is a valid enough. What is initially I was talking about GSG verifier. There is a program is there. So now Bureau of Energy Efficiency is confirming that from wherever you have done the course, that is enough. You should have a knowledge. You should have a basically completion certificates for that particular course. So if that is there, they accept it. So no central certification is there, but yes, at a individual entity level or maybe a training bodies level, it is there, and you can adopt that.
There is another question, sir. How can local bodies like municipalities be better equipped to implement a unified green building framework, especially when ECSBC enforcement is still uneven across the states?
This matter remains. This is a question, but a lot of push is coming right now. Earlier, you used to hardly see any kind of solar panels on the roof. Now it is visible everywhere. Earlier, you used to hardly see any EV plying on the road. Now it is every maybe third, fourth vehicle you can see it is a EV. So similarly, we are moving towards commonality. We are moving towards uniform implementation. And since the process is long, that initial hurdle are already crossed. Now they know that what exactly are these codes and how do we approach that. And though it is a voluntary mechanism, as of now it is there. You have to simply declare that yes, maybe. But after once that they notified their exam, they notified the central certification, which after that that implementation will become much more easier. So like Telangana is leading the way, Kerala is leading the way. Some a few of the states they are slightly trailing, but yes, all the states are moving towards achieving ECSBC implementation right up to the uh, uh, all in the entire states.
There's another question, whether certificate will be issued by BEE.
No, it will be issued by IESD.
Basically, that will be an exam when BEE will be issuing the certificate.
So again, you can take it like that. You are talking about IGBC, you are talking about lead, you are talking about Griha. These are all voluntary certifications. The similar way you can treat it ISD certification also. You are getting knowledge, you are also getting a certificate. And this can be utilized when you are going for any kind of statutory compliance or statutory certification. And then at that time, it will come as handy because you will be having all the knowledge beforehand itself. And clearing those statutory exams or requirement would be much easier for you.
So I have that much questions for today, and I would just like to inform everybody. You can register for the program. The link is provided in the chat box, and you can reach the program, make the payment, and register and take the offer of 20%. So that is valid till 31st July. And thank you everybody for joining this session. Thank you, sir, for such a nice session on this ECSBC. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.